Oh, good morning. So we have this week and next week, and then uh, a 2 week break because of how the holidays fall. So I won't be seeing you guys for a couple of weeks because we're on Fridays. So you'll be on your own, and hopefully some of the things that we're doing here, you'll feel comfortable doing on your own. All right. So let's come right up to the front of the chair and have your feet underneath your knees. And just notice, are you leaning forward this morning? Are you leaning back this morning? Or weight on one side or the other? So think about getting your shoulders right above your hips and let your head kind of be perked up. Ooh, ooh, I love it. So if your head is sort of balanced right up on top of your shoulders there. And then your spine is nice and tall. And if it's comfortable, close your eyes. And start to notice your breathing. As you inhale and exhale, notice the quality of the air. So the temperature of the air as you breathe in and out, the speed of your breath. How quickly or slowly the air moves in and out, how deep or shallow your breathing is. And it's best to breathe in and out through the nose. And if that's not possible to breathe in and out through the nose, see if you can breathe in through the nose and out first lips if you're blowing out a candle. And just inquire where in your body you belly. Do you feel it in your rib cage? Do you feel it in your chest? And then consciously begin to deepen the breathing so that as you inhale, you feel the air move down deep into your belly. And as you exhale, see if you can press out the breath that might be in the belly by just pulling the navel in toward the spine. Breathing in, breathing out, deep into the belly. And you might imagine your body like a balloon. With every inhalation, it's like blowing up the balloon. With every exhalation, letting air out of the balloon. Long, slow, deep breaths in and out. Filling your body completely on the inhalations and emptying your body completely on the exhalations. And as you continue with the breathing, you can again keep your eyes closed if you'd like. If you'd like to open them, you can do that. But we're just going to start to move the arms a bit as well. So as you inhale, you can sweep your arms out to the sides and up overhead. And as you exhale, you can bring the arms out to the sides and all the way down. So there's something really wonderful about doing this breath with your eyes closed because you're moving your body and you're focusing on your breath. And we'll imagine as we're inhaling and exhaling, as we're moving those arms, that it's like you're moving your arms through molasses. Imagine your arms moving through molasses. It's like you're swimming in it. So there's a resistance. And if molasses doesn't do it for you, maybe it's honey, or maybe it's just plain old water. So you just want to feel a little bit of resistance as the arms come up and down. And again, it's easier to feel and imagine this resistance when we do this with the eyes closed. Because our visual sense is so strong that once we have our eyes open, we realize we're actually not in molasses, so we're not in water. And so it's much harder to imagine that. And the next time that your arms come all the way up, instead of going out to the side on your exhalation, you're just going to come forward a little bit and then sweep your arms out to the sides and all the way around behind you. And then turn your palms forward and bring your arms together in front. So we're just doing that same kind of movement instead of up and down. We're going side to side. And once again, if you're visualizing your arms moving through something other than air, water, honey, molasses, something thick, something not so thick. Just feel that resistance. Feel it along your arms, feel the resistance in the hands, and imagine if you spread your fingers nice and wide, imagine that substance, whatever it is, flowing through your fingers. You can almost feel what's happening there between the fingers. This long, slow, deep breath in as you bring the arms back, and long, slow breath out as you bring the arms forward. And the next time that your arms come forward, you're just going to bring your palms together and let your hands rest right at your heart center, palm to palm. And let your thumbs now rest on your breastbone, right at your heart. And as you inhale and exhale, see if you can feel your body expanding and contracting. See if you can feel that movement where your thumbs are in contact with your chest. Feel that movement right there in your chest. Long, slow, deep breath in as you fill your body from the bottom to the top, and long, slow breath out as you empty your body from top to bottom. And with your next exhalation, you can release your hands, let them rest on your lap. Relax your breathing, so let go of the need to breathe deeply. Just go back to whatever is a natural breath for you. And then allow your eyes to gently open. Okay. So let's take the hands together, interlace your fingers, and then press your palms away. Let's stretch through the upper back as you round through the upper back. Bring your chin to your chest. And as you next inhale, come all the way up with your arms. Reach up, keep breathing in and out. And we're going to go back down in front, so you're rounding through your chest. Really round here. Rounding through your back. And then come all the way up, pressing up through the heels of your hands, breathing in and out. Just one more time, coming down and then going back up. And release your arms, let them come all the way down. Let's roll the shoulders. So we're just bringing the shoulders up and around and down. Notice if it's a little noisy in there this morning. Be a little crunchy, maybe one side or the other. And let's see if we can get the arms in a syncopated rhythm, right? So we're doing one and then the other. Now you can really straighten your elbows if that works for you, or you can have your elbows a little bit bent. And as you're doing this, let's start to twist the body as well. So for those here, just watch the back of your chair. You don't bang into it. For those at home, just watch what's behind you or what's around you in your home. And at some point, we're going to switch direction. So we're going around the other way. And it's the same thing. We're getting the arms up and around. Arms can be really straight or elbows bent. And we're just circling around and around. Excellent. Okay, and then let's let the arms hang down by the sides and just kind of shake things out a little bit. All right, I'm going to move right to the legs now. So let's extend the right heel on the floor And we're going to squeeze and extend through the toes. Squeezing and extending through the toes. And you can't see that through my sneakers, but this is what I'm doing with my toes. Maybe not quite so much as with my fingers, but same thing. And then we'll point and flex the foot. So it's like you're trying to bring your toes to tap the floor and then your heel to tap the floor. Getting a little movement there, and then we'll start to circle at the ankle. And reverse direction. All right. And then we'll bring that heel down to the floor. Now sitting up nice and tall, make sure your shoulders are over your hips. You can have your hands on the chair right alongside your hips. This is always a good reminder for me that I need to just kind of maintain this nice straight spine. Pull your belly in a little bit, and then we're going to bend and extend the knee. So we're bending and extending. Now when you bend your knee, you're using the muscles here in the back of your thigh to do that. Those are called your hamstring muscles. And when you extend your knee, you're using the muscles here in the front of your thigh. Those are your quadriceps muscles. It's important to keep both sets of muscles strong. The quadriceps and the hamstring muscles are called antagonistic muscles. So they work in opposition to each other, right? So when one set is contracting, the other set is lengthening or relaxing. Okay, next time your knee is bent, bring your foot to the floor. So we're stretching the bottom of the toes, and then wiggle or slide that foot back, excuse me, underneath your chair as far as it will go. Good. And then sitting up nice and tall, we're just going to lean back a little bit till we get a stretch here and pull your knee down toward the floor. So we're pulling the knee toward the floor and then relax all of that. So again, we're just going to lean back slightly, pull the knee down toward the floor. So we're getting a bit of a stretch in through the leg here. Maybe it's around the knee, maybe it's down into the thigh. So breathing in and breathing out. We're going to do that 3 more times. And as you're doing that, just adjust this. Okay. So you're on your 3rd one yet? Not yet. Okay. Yes, you are. Okay. All right. So once you get there. All right. Next, we're going to extend the leg. Have the heel on the floor. Okay. Sorry. Just one more second. Fuss with this a little bit. I'm not sure why. Where are we? Oh, we're out here. Okay. This sounds awfully loud to me right now. Sorry. That better? Oh, that maybe is better. Okay. Here we are. Sorry, audio visual kind of issues this morning. So engaging these muscles here, the quadriceps muscles, we're going to lift and lower that heel from the floor. So lifting and lowering the heel, keeping the leg as straight as you can. Breathing in and breathing out. Good. And the next time you lift, let's hold there and breathe. Now notice if you're doing this in order to keep that leg up, see if you can sit up really tall. Let's take 5 breaths as we hold this. So there's 1. So the breaths are really long, slow, and deep. And there's 2. And 3. How many did I say? 5. Okay, so 4. And last one. All right, let's lower that down. Excellent. Now we're going to rotate the leg in and out. We're going to do that several times. So rotating in and out. Excellent. Now the next time that your leg is rotated out, so you're out to the little toe side of your foot, we're going to hold here. Keep that foot at that, oh, I'm going to say like 2 o'clock position, and we're going to lift and lower the leg with the foot rotated out. Good. Good job, you guys at home. Excellent. And the next time you lift, we're going to hold here and breathe. And keep pressing out through your heel, pulling your toes toward your shin, watching that your spine is nice and tall. And if you have your hands here, make sure your shoulders aren't up around your ears. So you want to relax your shoulders a little bit. And I didn't mention breathing, but that's an important part of this, to make sure you're breathing. And then last breath, we're going to lower that all the way down. Good. Let's relax that leg and give the thigh a little bit of a massage. How's that leg feeling right now? Good? All right, let's invite the other side to join the party. So let's extend that left leg. And we'll start with the toes here. So we're squeezing and then extending the toes. Same thing. All right. A little more, some will notice there's a little more flexibility in some of the toes. Maybe on one foot, you've got a little more flexibility with the toes. And then we'll start to point and flex the foot. So you're kind of tapping the toe and then tapping the heel, breathing in and breathing out. Great, and then we'll start to circle around at the ankle. Noticing any noise in there too. So ankles can be crunchy and creaky. And reverse direction of your ankle circles. And then heel to the floor. And once again, I like to have my hands here just so that it reminds me where I am in space. And we're going to bend and extend that leg. So thinking about how the leg is working. So when I'm straightening my leg, these muscles here in the top part, the front part of the thigh, those are contracting and the muscles in the back are relaxing. And when I'm bending my knee, the muscles in the back are contracting and the muscles in the top front part are relaxing. So they have this antagonistic relationship. They're working together. And the next time that you bend your knee, you're going to bring your foot to the floor. So you're stretching the underside of your toes and then slide, shimmy, or glide that foot back as far as it'll go. And once again, sitting up nice and tall, we're just going to lean back and then pull that knee down toward the floor. So it's like you're trying to get your shoulder and your knee as far away from each other as you can, and then come forward a bit. And then down. And back. So we'll do that a few times. We're getting a little bit of a stretching through here. Just waking things up in the hip a bit. Good. And last time. Excellent. Okay, let's take that foot out. We're going to extend it, have the heel on the floor, and really engage these muscles here, the quadriceps muscles, nice and strong. It's like you're trying to pull your kneecap up toward your hip, and we're going to lift and lower that leg. So nice and slow, especially on the lifting part. Oftentimes we go a little fast when we're lifting, and we're actually recruiting some other muscles aside from the muscles in the thigh and the cross of the hip. So the next time that you lift, let's hold that right there and breathe. And pull your toes toward your shin, press out through your heel, sitting up nice and tall, breathing in, breathing out. Let's take a couple more really nice, long, slow, deep breaths. You might feel a little burning in there. You might feel a little shaking in there. That's all good. That's just working those muscles to the point where they can't go anymore. If you need to put your foot down before I'm kind of call that we're done, please feel free to do that. Let's see if we can do just two more nice, slow, deep breaths. Really kind of fatiguing those muscles there. And after your second one, you can slowly lower it down. Great, let's rotate in and out. So the movement, we talked about this a lot, the movement should be happening primarily up in the hip area. We've got some movement in the ankle. We actually have a little bit of movement in your knee as well. And the next time you have your foot out to the little toe side, so that's going to be like the 10 o'clock position for you guys. We're going to hold there and then we're going to lift and lower that leg in the 10 o'clock position. Breathing in, breathing out. So again, slow and steady. So the movement up should be a smooth movement up. Right? And the movement down, same thing, a really smooth movement down. One more time, lift and lower. Excellent, and then you can release and relax that. Let's give that all a massage in there. Okay. Now the legs feel equally abused, right? Good. All right, so let's shift focus. Again, we're going to go back up to the upper body. I'm going to ask you to bring your arms out to the sides like this. So your palms are facing up. Spread your fingers nice and wide. Sit up nice and tall. Remember, shoulders on top of hips. We're not leaning forward, not leaning back. And what we're going to do is we're going to rotate the arms from the shoulder joint. We're going to rotate the arms forward, down, and as far around as they can go. So you can get your palms so they're facing up toward the ceiling. And then we're going to switch and go the other way and go as far back as you can. And when you do this, squeeze those shoulder blades together. And then when you come forward, see if you can just relax the neck and shoulders and back. Got that? So that's the whole movement we're going to do here. And I'm just going to ask you to breathe slow and deep as you're doing it. Now, if you've got a shoulder issue and your arms up there are not working for you, you can bring your arms down here. You can also have a little bend in one arm. So I'll just kind of show you what that looks like. So if you've got a little shoulder, a little elbow issue, a little neck issue, just do the best you can. So as you're doing this, as you're breathing, notice if your right side and your left side feel the same or if they feel different. And most of us is going to be a little bit of a difference here. Okay, the next time that your palms are facing up, let's pause there for a moment. So how do you, actually, let's relax the arms. Cool. Relax the shoulders, the shoulder tops, all around there. Okay, so we got that whole movement. Everybody looked like they were doing that really well, kind of rotating arms. Now we're going to bring them back out again, starting with the palms up. Take your right hand forward, down, and around, and take your left hand backwards, right? And then we're going to switch. We're going to bring the right hand forward and the left hand. And keep switching. So they're going in opposite directions, right? Okay. Got that? Everybody breathing? Anybody breathing? Okay. So now what we're going to do, as we're doing this movement, I want you to turn your head in the direction of the palm that is facing up primarily into the other side. So we're switching our focus with our eyes. And as you're doing this, really turn your head. So you're getting that neck involved, right? So muscles in the neck, you don't have to go fast. You can just go nice and slow here and notice your breath. And you're holding your breath a little bit. Has it gotten a little shallow? Maybe it's a little confusing. Okay. One more time on each side. Great. And then you're going to bring your hands down to your lap. Close your eyes for a moment. Take a breath in. Let it out with a sigh. Release any tension in your neck and shoulders. And notice what you feel in your arms, your hands, your neck. You might feel something in your chest or your upper back. Breathing in, breathing out. And let your eyes open once again. Okay, so we have the little bit of work in the shoulders, a little bit of work in the hips. We're going to get back to those hips a little bit. Let's scoot over to the right side of the chair slightly. And you remember from last week, we did a little work where we imagined a wall here on the side, and we just lifted that right leg up, over, and down. And then back up, over, and down. So we're going to continue to do this, just lifting nice and slow, up, over, and down. All right, everybody doing okay with that, yeah? Okay. Next time you're out to the side, let's hold here, and then scoot way to the edge of your chair. And then see if you can use your heel and your toes and walk your foot back a little bit. Take your right hand over to your left thigh, and then see if you can twist your body as far to the left as you can. Now watch that right knee, that it doesn't cave in forward. You want to pull that knee toward the back wall. So you're twisting your body to the left, and your right knee is reaching toward the back wall. Breathing in, breathing out. Let's take 2 more breaths here if you can. And slowly unwind. Okay, let's take that foot, bring it all the way back in. We're going to scoot over to the left side. And same thing, we got a little wall on this side. You can sit up nice and tall. You can have your hands on your chair if you'd like. Just lifting that leg up, over, and down. So we're doing this nice and slow. Try not to lean in the chair so that we're really asking the leg muscles, especially the muscles around the hip joint, to do a little more work. And it can be pretty challenging, especially if you've got some issues going on in that hip or you're not quite so strong in the hip. And the next time that you have your leg up, over, and out to the side, we're going to hold it here. And then scoot your body to the front of your chair. Walk that foot out as far as it'll go. Keep the knee pulling toward the wall behind you. Take your left hand to your right side. Take your right hand to the chair, and we're going to twist the upper body as far over to the right as we can. Even turn and look out over your right shoulder. Breathing in, breathing out. Let's take 2 more breaths here. Getting nice and long through the spine, feeling that twist, getting around as far as is comfortable, making sure your left knee isn't collapsing forward, but it's moving up behind you. And then unwind your hip. Great, let's take that foot. We're gonna walk it all the way back. Okay, let's come back to the center of the chair for a moment. So now what we're going to do is we're going to turn to the right. So we're going to turn the whole body to the right. And you're going to have your right leg on the chair and your left cheek is kind of hanging off the chair. Slide your back side so that you're closer to this left side of your chair. So in other words, the back of your knee is up close to the feet of the chair. Does that make sense? Okay. All right. So with your left cheek kind of hanging off the chair, hold on to the chair with your right hand. You're going to take that left leg, walk it out, and bring it around behind you as far as it'll go. All right? So for some people, we're going to get about there. For other people, maybe we can bring the foot way back. And if you can see my foot, I've got the bottom of my toes are actually getting a stretch, just like we did under the chair. So this is the warrior pose. This is one of the warrior poses in yoga. So here we are. We're going to keep the body oriented toward that right knee and lift up through the spine. Straighten your left knee as best you can. Breathe. That's mandatory. That's the only thing that's mandatory is the breathing. Everything else is optional. As you inhale now, take your left arm all the way up overhead. And as you exhale, bring it down. And again, breathe in as you bring the arm up overhead. Breathe out as you bring the arm down. 2 more times. We're going to breathe in as we bring the arm up. And breathe out as we bring the arm down. And now this time, as you breathe in and bring the arm up, we're going to hold it there. Take a couple more really full deep breaths. Now you should be really planted on the chair with that right leg and the glute. If you feel comfortable and you feel steady on your chair, you can take your right hand off the back of the chair and reach that arm up too. Reach both arms up toward the ceiling if you can. Straightening that back leg is going to give you a deeper stretch in through the front of the hip. Breathing in and breathing out. Everybody looks wonderful. Nice. How about 2 more breaths here, you guys? This is a tough one. There's 1. And 2. And bring the arms all the way down. Great. Now, relax that back leg a little bit. And then let's see if we can slide that foot back in. Excellent. And we're going to turn back to the front of the chair for a moment. Okay, hands on your lap, close your eyes. Take a breath in, let it out with a sigh. And notice the right leg and the left leg, the right and left hip, the back, maybe even the shoulders and the arms. So that posture, that warrior posture gives us all kinds of places where we can work with tension, folding. Get your eyes drift open, and now we're going to shift all the way around to the left. So it's the same thing, just it's like you're sitting, going to sit sideways on the chair, and then scoot your right cheek off the edge of the chair. Have the back of your left knee right up against the seat, so you almost have to sit right close to that right edge. Hold on to the back of your chair with your left hand, and then see if you can take your right leg and slide it back, right? So you can slide it out to the side, or you can slide it back. If you can get your toe, the bottom of your foot kind of stretching there, that's helpful. And then straighten that knee as best you can. Breathe in, breathe out. Sit up really tall in your spine. As you breathe in, take that right arm all the way up. And as you breathe out, you're going to bring the arm all the way down. So we're going to do this a few times, lifting and lowering. So that just kind of gets the body used to this position. So we're not creating a whole lot of strain. Nice full deep breath in as you come up and out as you come down. How about 2 more times before we hold? So lift and down. 1 more time up and down. Great. And the next time that we bring that arm up, we're going to hold it up there and lift and lengthen through the spine. See if you can get that right leg out a little bit more. The more you can straighten that knee, the better that stretch is going to be. And as long as you feel like you're anchored onto your chair, so you don't feel like you're precarious on your chair, you can take your left arm up overhead as well. If this makes you feel a little lightheaded or dizzy at all, I'm going to just ask you to bring your arms down. Okay, so we're going to hold here for 4 more breaths. That's a lot of breathing. So long, slow, deep breath in and out. Lengthening through the spine, keep pressing out through that back leg. Really challenging ourselves here this morning in this warrior pose. Let's see if we can do 1 more breath here, you guys, just 1. And on your exhale, you're going to lower that arms all the way down. You're going to lean over to the side a little bit and then slide that right leg forward. Scoot yourself around. Let your hands rest on your thighs. Let's take a deep breath in, let it out with a sigh as you close your eyes. Noticing your hips, your shoulders, your back, your legs, maybe even your feet. So it's going to be a little bit different for each of us depending on where and how we carry our attention. And let your eyes gently open. Okay. Take that right leg and extend it out, heel on the floor. And then your left leg, make sure your heel is underneath your knee. So you don't want your foot way back here. You want to have it right there. Take both hands to your left thigh. Sit up nice and tall, breathing in, breathing out. See if you can visualize in your mind's eye where your navel is. And as you exhale, we're going to hinge forward from the hips. So imagine you've got a little hinge joint right here. We're going to hinge forward like we're trying to bring the navel down onto the knee. Right? And then as we inhale, we're going to slowly come up. And exhale as you come forward. Yeah. And just keep doing this movement. Now, as you come forward, that right knee might want to bend, right? Because we're asking the muscles in the back of that leg to stretch when we keep the knee straight. So I'm going to ask you to keep that knee as straight as you can when you come forward, even if it's really challenging. And you just don't have to come as far forward. You might come forward maybe a couple of inches as opposed to like really far forward. Okay, so the next time that we come forward, we're going to hold in that position, breathing in and breathing out. Okay, as you're holding in this position, see if you can lift your tailbone up a little bit. Right, so it's like you're really trying to get that hinge in the hips to close a little bit more. Notice your breath. If your breath is getting a little shallow, or if it's hard to take a breath in, you might be too far forward. If you have some pain in the back of your knee, and I mean right where that knee crease is, you might be straining those tendons a little bit, so you'll give your knee just a slight bend. Otherwise, keep your toes reaching toward your shin, and then take your right hand, slide it down your thigh, and see if you can come down to your shin, down to your ankle. I see some of you can go all the way down. If you can grab your toes Reach down and grab your toes. If your toes are a mile away, just way below. It's all right. We're all moving in that same direction. Good. So once again, maybe I can grab my toes, but I'm having a really hard time breathing in that position. I just want to back off a little bit. Nice full deep breath in. Excellent. And then slowly start to come up. So take as many breaths as you like. Just slowly come all the way up. Great. Okay, so from here, we're going to take that right knee now. Bend the knee. Take your hands behind your knee, behind your thigh, and then see if you can lift that leg up. Now keep your toes reaching toward your shin, so your foot is active and strong. Everybody doing okay with this? Can you breathe? That's the most important thing. Okay, so breathe in, breathe out. If you can manage it, you can grab hold of your shin and pull the leg in that way. That is not going to work for me on this leg. So I'm just going to keep in the back of my thigh here. Some of you might even reach down and grab your foot and bring your foot up a little bit, right? So maybe you can grab your foot with both hands, or maybe just with one hand. If you're grabbing your foot, are you still breathing? Smooth and easy. Use your spine nice and tall. Good. With your next exhale, let's see if we can really slowly release that. All right, hands on your thighs, close your eyes. Let's take a couple of breaths in and out. Notice right side and left side. Let your eyes gently open. Great. And we're going to take that left leg now, extend it out, heel on the floor, knee is straight. So that means when your knee is straight, the quadriceps muscles, the muscles here in the front of the thigh, they are working, they're engaged. And these are the folks that keep us moving up and down the stairs, in and out of the car, on off the chair, all those kinds of things that keep us independent. So it's important that we really focus on these muscles. Now the right knee is bent in a 90-degree angle, so that means your heel is underneath that knee. We're going to take both hands to that thigh. Once again, kind of identify in your mind's eye where your navel is. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, you're going to hinge forward from way down here in the hips, like you're trying to bring your navel down onto your knees. And as you inhale, you're going to come all the way up. So moving forward and back a few times. And part of what happens when I like to come into a position that we're going to hold for a while, I like to do an in and out kind of movement with it, kind of a little bit of a flow with it first, because what that does is it primes things so that the body and the mind know where we're going, and we get to discover where that sweet spot is, right? So if I only come this far forward, I don't really feel anything. If I go too far forward, oh, I might start to feel that in my back, and that's not a good thing. So I find that sweet spot where I can hold the position and still use my breath in a really effective way. So the next time that you come forward, let's hold here. Breathe in and breathe out. So once again, make sure your toes are reaching toward your shin. So don't let your foot be relaxed. Let your spine be nice and long. So you don't want to be rounding your shoulders. It's not getting your nose to your knee. It's actually getting your navel to you. So some folks are going to be forward maybe, I don't know, 10 degrees. And some folks might be forward like 60 degrees. Take your left hand, slide it from your thigh all the way down to your shin. Reach down toward that ankle. Keep breathing in, breathing out. Maybe even reaching your toes. If you can reach for the toes on this side. And maybe you could grab your toes on the other side, but you can't grab your toes on this side. And maybe it's the opposite. Breathe in, breathe out. If it's too much, your breath will tell you. If I can reach down and I can grab my toes here, but I'm really having a hard time breathing, I just need to back off a little bit. And I get to the place where my breath is telling me everything is okay, because that communicates how the muscles work with the brain. The whole job here of the brain and these kinds of exercises is to protect the body, to protect the joints and the tendons and the muscles and all of that stuff that would have hurt ourselves. So the brain relies on all kinds of input signals, chief among them, your breath. Okay, one more deep breath in and out. And then let's slowly, take as many breaths as you want, very, very slowly, come all the way up. And once you get here, you're going to bend that knee, bring the knee in, grab hold of the leg right behind the knee, sit up really tall. So the tendency here is to round the spine in order to get the knee in. See if you can sit up nice and tall as you do this. If you can, maybe reach around, grab hold of that shin and pull the leg in a little bit more. Stay nice and tall, maybe even reach down and grab the foot in one hand or two hands or whatever you can manage. Maybe even go back to behind the knee if that feels like it's more appropriate. So you can do one hand behind and one hand in front. Then you take 3 full deep breaths here, sitting up nice and tall. Okay, that's 2. And the last one, and then see how slowly you can release that leg all the way down. Let your hands rest on your thighs. Close your eyes for a moment. Take a couple of breaths in and out. Just checking in with the body, and checking in with the spine, checking in with the hips, the legs, the back, the arms, because if you are holding your leg and using those arm muscles, you need to put them in the arms. And let your eyes drift open. All right, how are we all doing? Legs feeling good? Hips feeling a little more awake? Okay, so we're going to be coming up to standing. So I'm going to have you make sure you're right up near the front of your chair, have your feet a little wider than your hips, and bring your heels so they're a bit behind your knees. That helps getting up. And if you recall, we've been here for several weeks now doing this coming up to standing thing. So it's, instead of coming up, thinking about coming straight up, we're going to come forward. You can bring your hands onto your thighs, or you can reach your arms forward if you want as a counterbalance, and see if you can get your butt right off the chair. And then we're just going to come back onto the chair. Right? So we're going to do that a few times. It's a little different than what we've been doing. So we're just coming forward, see if you can get your butt off the chair, and then put your backside on the chair. I don't like that word, but keep using it. Okay, so backside comes off the chair, and then backside on the chair. Great. This time we're going to come forward, backside comes off the chair. We're going to hold here, breathing in, breathing out, and then really slowly straighten your knees as you come up to standing. Good. Okay, bring your feet together. Come around to the back of your chair. So we're going to use the chair as a little bit of support. Okay. So let's start with a little bit of hip opening and strengthening kind of simultaneously. So if you want to shift your weight into your right foot, and notice now where the weight goes. Is it more in the forefoot, so more in the toes, or more in the heel? I'm going to invite you to bring a little more weight into your heel and a little more weight into the outer edge of your foot, of your right foot. With your hands resting on your chair, let's take that left foot off the floor, and we're going to circle the knee up and around. So we're making nice big circles here. Breathe in, breathe out. If you need to take a little break, put that foot down. You can do that at any time. We're going to do 5 more really big circles here. So right now, your left leg, we're getting some mobility in the hip joint. And your right leg, we're strengthening that hip joint because it's supporting your entire body weight. The less weight you have in your hands, the more work that right leg is doing. Has anybody gotten to 5 yet? Yeah, like 5 ago, right? Okay, so let's put that foot back down on the floor. Let's shake out that right leg. That was just doing a whole lot of work. Okay, so now same thing. We're going to shift the weight into the left leg. And once again, noticing if your weight is forefoot or if it's a little bit more into the heel. I'm going to ask you to press a little more into your heel, the outer edge of the foot. Press down and lengthen through your spine so you stay nice and tall. Just kind of resting hands on the chair. We're going to take that right leg up and around. Ooh, that's a nice noise up here. So sometimes the hip kind of makes a little bit of noise. And that's okay. I think I talked about this quite a bit, that moving a joint, noise without pain is generally okay. So keep going. Let's just do a couple more. Good. And then we can bring that foot down to the floor. Good. Now shift the weight back into the right side, shake out the left. Okay. So stand away from your chair so far back that you have to extend your arms to let your fingers touch the chair. Okay. So what we're going to do now is shift the weight into the right foot, a little more into the heel if you can. We're going to take the left leg out to the side and then sweep it across that front, in front of the standing leg. So we're going out and across. Now just watch that you don't get tangled up in the leg of your chair. So you just want to bring that leg straight across. I'm going to move my chair just for a moment. I just want to make sure everybody can see what my leg is doing. So we're just going across, breathing in and breathing out. Can we do 3 more? Whew. This is good and tough, right? There's 2 and 3. Excellent. Okay, let's shift the weight. Shake out the legs a little bit, one at a time. Okay. All right. Same thing on the other leg. So we're going to make sure we're stepped way far back and shift the weight now into the left leg. And then we're going to lift that right leg out to the side, bring it across and in front of that left leg. So do the same thing here so you can see what my leg is doing. So we're just going out to the side and across. Good. Breathing in and breathing out. Now that standing leg is doing a whole lot of work right now. Great. 2 more. 1 and 2. Excellent. Okay, let's shake out those legs a little bit again. Oop. All right, your legs are super warmed up now, right? All right, so standing behind your chair, you can come a little bit closer to your chair. Bring your feet nice and wide apart. Okay. So we're going to be doing a little bit of a standing warrior here today. What I'm going to ask you to do is take your right leg. Can you all see my foot? You all get a good look at my foot? Just want to make sure everybody can see this. So what we're going to do here is we're going to rotate this right leg from the hip so that the foot is facing the right. Does that make sense? I'm going to move this out of the way. So what I'm doing, I'm standing like this. I'm going to rotate the whole leg so my foot is going in that direction. Now your hips are going to want to take your whole body that way. I'm going to ask you to keep your hips squared to your chair. See if you can take this back foot and angle the heel out a little bit. Everybody okay with that? Okay, you're breathing. Okay, I'm just going to get back behind the chair so that we all look the same. Okay, so from here, what we're going to do, we're keeping the body oriented toward the chair. I'm going to keep my hands right here. We're going to bend this front knee a little bit and then straighten the front knee. Now, as you're bending and straightening that knee, 2 things to think about. You don't want your knee to go into the big toe side of your foot. I can't see me back there, right? So we're going just like a little bit of a bend and then straighten. So we're really using the muscles in that thigh to support that bend and then straighten. Watch that the hips don't drift to the right. Next time you bend your knee, hold here and breathe. Okay. Can you take your hands off your chair, place them on your hips? You can always have one hand on the chair if you'd like. Breathe in, breathe out. Everybody doing okay? Okay, great. Let's everybody put the left hand on the chair. It's easier this way. Take your right arm and reach it out so that it's above that right knee. Great. Look out over your right hand. Breathe in, breathe out. Notice your balance. If you'd like, take your left hand, lift it off the chair, even just for a moment. Keep looking out over your right fingers. Place that hand back on the chair, both of them back on the chair. Great. Okay. Now looking toward me, see if you can take both hands, sorry, off your chair and bring your arms up to the side. Now this might be a little much, right? So I might just want to keep one hand here. Can you hold this for 2 breaths? Watch that the muscles here in that front thigh are really working. Nice job, you guys. And then you can release your hands. All right, we're going to straighten that front knee. Let's see if we can turn the toes, do a little wiggle walk, get the feet back together. Standing with your feet fairly close together, let's take a breath in, let it out with a sigh. And just notice what you feel. So there's all kinds of movement happening in the tissue, even after we've held that position for a while. There's all kinds of realigning of tissue that's going on in there. So let's take the feet nice and wide apart again. Okay, so this time we're going to take the left foot and we're going to rotate the left leg. So again, the movement, guys, is happening from up here. Just like when we're sitting on the chair, we're rotating the leg in and out. It's that same thing. We want to get most of that rotation from the hip. The toes are facing the left, and then let's see if we can angle the back foot so that the heel is out a little bit. Now the body is going to want to kind of drift in that leftward position. That's why I love the chair to do this, because the chair actually gives me the orientation I need to be in the right position with my body. So we're just going to bend and then straighten that knee. Breathing in, breathing out. So you should never get to a place where you feel pain in your knee. If you are, you just don't bend quite so much. You can make a little teeny bend. Okay, and the next time that you bend, let's hold here and breathe. So really engage these muscles. Don't let that knee come in toward the big toe side of your foot. You're trying to pull your knee toward the wall behind you. It's that movement we do when we're sitting down. Same thing. It's the same engagement here. Okay, let's see if we can take the left arm out and then look out over your left fingers. So remember, your hips are oriented toward your chair, even though your head is turned to the left. Breathing in, breathing out. Nice, long, slow, deep breaths here. If it feels comfortable, you want to give it a try. Just lift your right hand off the chair, even if just for a moment, and then you can put it back down. Great, and then release your arms. Bring your head back to center. Awesome. So we're still here. These muscles are still working in the thigh. Now let's see if we can take both hands off the chair, raise the arms out into our warrior position. Again, if this feels uncomfortable from a balance perspective, just bring one hand back to the chair. Keep your elbows a little lower than your shoulders so that you don't create a lot of tension in the tops of your shoulders. Great. And if you're so inclined, you want to look out over your left fingers, you can do that, but just know that that might change your balance. So be super careful when you do. Yep. Great. And then slowly bring your arms down. Straighten that front leg. And we're going to use the heel and toe method to get the feet back together. Let's shift legs one at a time. Okay, how are we all doing? Good. How do your legs feel right now? Stretch. Okay, we're going to do one more little thing before we get to our squats and then come back to seated. So I'm going to have you come up on your toes and shift your weight onto your right leg. Lift your left foot off the floor and see how slowly you can come down. Okay, so I'm going to take this out so you can see what we're doing. We're going to go to the other side, do the same thing. So come up on your toes, way up on your tiptoes. Up, up, up. Shift your weight into the left foot. Now lift your right foot off the floor and then see how slowly you can come down with that heel on the left side. Okay, we'll go back and we'll do the other side. So lift, breathe in, breathe out. Keep breathing in, breathing out. It's tough to go slow on the way down when you've got one leg, all of the weight bearing. Great. Do once more on each side. Last time coming up. All the way down. Great. All right, you guys. From here, we're going to walk around to the front of the chair. Stand with your feet just a little wider than your hips. So usually about the width of the chair legs themselves. And then with the backs of your knees really close to your chair, we're going to slowly come down into a squat, but don't sit. Breathing in, breathing out, we're going to come back up. So we're going to do the squat a couple of times before we hold it. So when you squat down, you want to lift your tailbone out behind you a little bit and shift your weight into your heels. Great. And the next time that you bend your knees and you come into your little bit of a squat here, you're just going to hold and breathe. Okay. So if you put a little more weight in your hands, that helps support your legs. If you shifting the weight into the heels, makes these quadriceps muscles even more. If you want a little bit more challenge, if this isn't challenge enough, take your hands together right here and press your palms into each other and breathe. So let's see, can we do 4 more breaths? Really challenging the legs today. And that's 2. And the last one. Now, make sure you know where your chair is, and let's see how slowly we can sit without flopping. Holy moly, right? Wowie. Let's give those legs a little massage. We've certainly done a whole lot of work today.
It was wonderful.
And then sit comfortably and close your eyes. So some people might want to sit and rest their back on the back of the chair. That's okay. For those at home, if you have something you want to put your feet up, you could do that. So with your eyes closed, let's just go into the sensations in the legs and the hips. So we did a lot of work today for legs and hips. Made you forget all about those shoulder exercises we did at the beginning. Breathing in and breathing out, and notice how the air is moving in and out of your body. Notice how quickly or slowly you're breathing. Notice if the air moves evenly between the left and right nostrils, or if one side feels a little more open than the other. The breath is long, slow, and deep. The body is gently expanding and contracting. You can feel your chest rising and falling. You can feel your belly expanding and contracting. Relax your shoulder, your neck, and your jaw. Relax your arms and hands, your fingers. And bring all of your awareness into the place where your hands are in contact with your body. And what is the quality of that contact? Can you feel softness or roughness of your clothes? Can you feel the warmth or coolness between your hands and your body? May your fingers relax, the palms soft. And as you breathe in and out, see if you can send breath on the inhalation down your arms, into your fingers, and out to your legs. And as you exhale, as you breathe out, see if you can bring that same sensation up your legs, your hips, your torso, and back up. So it's like you're breathing into your hands and you're breathing out from your legs. Each breath is long, slow, and deep. The connection between your hands and your legs. Really noticeable on each breath in and out. And you slowly take your hands from your legs and bring them up to your chest, or reach your heart center. Keep breathing in and out and noticing that connection between your hands and your body. The breathing into your hands and the breathing out from your chest. Next inhale, make it a nice big breath in so you can let it out with a sigh. Ah. And take your hands together for a moment in appreciation to yourself for your light and wisdom, your compassion and eternal beauty. And if you'd like, you can open your eyes and glance around here in the room, just acknowledging that. And for folks at home, just acknowledging you all and anybody else in your home. So have a wonderful rest of your day.